St. Mark's UMC. We are continuing our study in Job. This is week 2. We're going through chapter 2. So if you haven't already, pause and read it. Alrighty, now that you've paused and read it. I'd mentioned this in the previous episode, but chapter 2 really, worse things are happening to Job. This is the sequel to chapter 1, but much worse. Much like sequels in general. It's a bad joke, I'm sorry. But a lot of this chapter is about Job's integrity. Chapter 1 ends with talking about how Job did not sin. Chapter 2 continues with horrible things happening to Job, and he retains his integrity. So I want to talk about that. When you're going through hard times, when you're going through the difficult times in life, how do you retain your integrity? What are the practical steps that you take? I'm gonna get real and honest with you guys here. But when you're going through hard times, it can be very easy to want to lean on alcohol, to lean on drugs, and to lean on other vices as a way to distract you from the pain that you're experiencing. This is oftentimes the source of these vices in our society. There have been a number of studies about drug addicts and how to help heal these people. And I was watching this TED Talk recently, and they were presenting these new studies on how community is one of the number one ways to get someone out of the cycle of addiction. Community is the antidote to chaos. And this is important because that's what we're trying to build here at the church. When chaos and sorrow are seeking to envelop your life, you lean more into God and you lean more into God's body, which is the church. You lean into community. That's how we retain our integrity throughout these hard times. You can't do it by yourself. If you try, you'll end up extremely distraught and oftentimes worse for the wear. It's hard. Life is a communal experience. We're all living it together. And the reason why there's not just one of us, but many of us, is that we need to be there for each other. That's the reason why societies exist. That's the reason why towns exist. We need doctors. We need medical professionals. We need people to do what I'm doing right here. We need people to work at grocery stores. We need people to work at Walmarts. We need everybody. This term essential worker has been thrown around a lot in the past year. But it really, it brings about this vision that we are not alone. And not only are we not alone, but without people around us, we're not going to survive. So when you're going through hard times, chapter 2 is really emphasizing to me personally that we lean more on God and more in his community. And this is the verse that I want to leave you with. So in verse 9, Job's wife says to him, "Are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die." And he says, "You speak as a foolish person speaks. Should we only accept good from God and not adversity?" And he poses that as a question. Throughout all this, Job did not sin in what he said. That's what I want to leave you with chapter 2. Do not curse God and die. Lean into community. Lean into fellowship. That's the blessing and encouragement I want to give you this week. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next week.